All right, howdy folks. So I just got my first box from Amazon Japan, and I'm going to be doing a quick unboxing here and just kind of go through what I ordered. I'm not going to do an exhaustive review of each item because I am planning to do some more in-depth reviews of these products in the future. So if you want to see those, then definitely subscribe. But for now, let's get into it. There's a nice Amazon branded tape here. Okay. Okay, so I got a bunch of stuff from a variety of brands. We'll just go one by one. So first up, we've got some Engineer scissors, pH 55. These, I can't remember what color I ordered, green or black. I can't really tell with the light. Oh, there's a nice flip. The back flips open. And I might put some pictures of this translated. I might not do that for everything. Finger pinch guard, anti-slip handle, S-shaped design, strap hole. Bunch of cool stuff. Some pictures on the back of stuff you can cut with these. These are kind of an electrician style scissors, so they should be able to cut through, thinner wires and stuff like that. Okay, moving on. These are just a couple Vessel brand bit organizer holders, just to organize some of the bits that I ordered. Speaking of which, here's some right here. So these are the ball end hex 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. 150 millimeters long. It has some specs. 4.6 millimeter diameter. I think, yeah, it has diameter. Very cool looking. Here's some more. Okay, yeah, so these are the same sizes, just shorter. Ball end hex. I use these a lot working on my bikes, so I wanted to give these a shot. Some more Vessel bits. Torques, T10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. Made in Japan. And I will probably put the prices on the screen. In general, this stuff I think is pretty affordable. Of course, they do hit you with shipping from Japan. It worked out to be about 25% extra for shipping, so, or I guess 30% depending on how you're looking at the total cost. So this altogether was about $150, and then with shipping it was just shy of $200. So we've got some Engineer brand nippers. Micro nippers. And I think Engineer makes a few different styles of nippers. And I can't remember why I picked these. But they do look nice. Also made in Japan. And these are some Tone diagonal cutting pliers. These are also kind of a, lightweight plastic nipper. Maybe a little bit heavier duty looking than these Engineer ones, you can see. And these Tones have that funky bottom lip that I think is kind of designed for pulling zip ties tight before you cut them. Okay, here's another Tone slip joint pliers. I was actually really excited for these. I ordered a few of these red and black colorway Tone to kind of have a set, and then a few similar items from Engineer brand, so I can do a comparison. And then I'll probably be doing a comparison with like some American brands like Icon sold at Harbor Freight, and some other mainstream US brands, but these do look very nice. I feel like slip joint pliers don't get a lot of love. I think that they're actually one of the more useful kinds of pliers. Let's see what next. Ooh, Tone needle nose pliers. Look pretty nice. Made in Japan. I can't remember if all this Tone stuff is made in Japan, but yeah, so far all three of these Tone sets do say made in Japan, and the Engineer stuff, so maybe all this stuff is made in Japan. That'd be pretty awesome. Got a Tone box cutter, and this thing is actually a lot bigger than I thought. Wow. And I believe this has a cool spring-loaded slider, so you can push it forward just enough to open a box, and then you can release it and it'll slide back closed. And then I think if you push this one forward, it'll go just open like normal. Excited to try these out. And then, oh yes, these are some blades, some Olfa blades made in Japan to complement my Tone box opener. Okay, Engineer needle nose. Made in Japan. Wow, I love that they even give you like the hardness on here and the weight. One thing I've noticed from these Japanese tool manufacturers is that they give you a ton of information. And the way that these, so this is a Tone and this is an Engineer on the left. The way that these are so similar, you'd almost think they're made by the same brand. Maybe I need to do some research. Maybe these are made by the same company, although I don't think so. I'll put it on the screen if I can figure that out. Maybe there's just kind of a standardized way. Yeah, because this also has the same style of backing, and these are definitely not made by either of those brands. These are Canary scissors. Now, I thought when I ordered this, I thought that they were... Yeah, so on Amazon, these are listed as Hasegawa brand. But on here, they're listed as Canary brand. So I'll have to do some research onto why that may be. Maybe those are the same company. Maybe Hasegawa is a style of scissor. But these look nice. I have some other Japanese scissors that I want to compare these against. Oh, some more vessel bits. These are more of your standard bits. Now, I don't think these are technically Phillips. I'm pretty sure that the Japanese industry has a slightly different angle on their 4/4, I'm not sure what you'd call them, but their Phillips style bit is slightly different. You should be able to still use them in a Phillips bit, but they may not fit as perfectly as some others. Those do look nice. Maybe they are Phillips though, because they do say P1, P2. Yeah, I'll do a little bit more research on whether or not these are actually Phillips or if these are the Japanese standard. Okay. Some Tone hex wrenches or Allen keys, depending on what you call them. I definitely want to do a comparison of these against some of the others that I have. Okay, we've got a couple bit holders here. So this is a Vessel 220W made in Japan bit holder. I'm really excited to try these Japanese style handles. This is not ratcheting. This should just be a fixed. But for the ratcheting one, I did get a ratcheting one. I could not find a Vessel with the ball end ratcheting. I believe Vessel does have some that ratchet, but all the ones that I could find had more of a traditional, maybe Western style handle. I wanted one with the ball handle, so I found this Anex and it's had decent reviews. And one thing to note about these Japanese handles and bits is that they use a different length anvil here. So these won't fit in most US standard anvils. They are in the chuck. They will fit, but they're not going to lock in necessarily because the locking point is larger. So the overall length is larger of the locking end. So they'll fit in, but they may not lock in. That is everything. I might do a little bit of a closer dive on these things, maybe pull out the translator app. Okay, so starting with all the Tone tools that I ordered. Got the Tone metric L-shaped wrench set. And this is the BPLT90. And I am not sure where these are made because it does not say on the packaging. They just came in this bag. It doesn't seem to say anywhere on the molded plastic, and I pulled one of these out. It says Tone, has a part number, but it does not say Japan on it, so there's a chance that maybe these are not made in Japan. I also could not find this specific model on their website, so not sure, maybe it's discontinued or something. But they do look nice. Just a quick note, I think it's nice that they don't have the larger sizes on the back. They have them on the front, but because this is a flip, they have the sizing here, and then when you open it, they also have the sizing here. So I think that's a pretty nice touch. Okay, now I'm looking at the Tone safety return cutter, and then also some Olfa blades here. So first things first, here's the translated cover. Safety return cutter, large blade, 18mm thickness. A safe cutter with a retractable blade can also be used fixed in place. Equipped with 2 types of mechanisms, return and lock. And then on the back, cutter with safety in mind, retractable blade, 2 types of return lock mechanisms, ideal for unpacking work. Blade folding slit allows the blade to be folded. Blade folding slit. I'm not sure what. That's got to be some kind of miss. There's no way that that actually folds. Anyway, jump into it. So right off the bat, this thing is big. I have big hands. I have size XL glove hands, and This is a big cutter. In terms of the actual mechanism, this has these two sections here. You push the forward one forward, and it is on a spring, so it returns by itself. If you push the rear one forward, it locks. You can still use the spring mechanism. So if you've broken off some of these blades, you can open it up to where it's almost open and then just use the spring mechanism. But this handle is big, and it's got a rubberized coating. So this is plastic, but then this is rubberized. That is nice. This whole bottom section is rubberized. And then to get the blade out, just pull this out. And I don't think there's room for any blades back here. It does have a little spot, but I don't think you're going to be able to fit any blades back there. But then to remove it, it's super easy. You just pull it out. Blade just slots in there. And then looking at this, so here's the spring. If we look at the back side of it, you can see how it works. It's just extending a spring. Let's see, this actually does have a little bit of a movement to it. Let's see, does that? Oh wow, so how can I showcase this? So it actually locks in place. You actually have to move this rear one a little bit to unlock it. You see that it moves just a little bit and then it's unlocked. But when it's not moving, if you try to just push on the mechanism, it doesn't go. So it actually locks in place. So that is cool. This thing is pretty heavy duty. I mean, I could definitely see you using this if you're opening a lot of boxes every day. And then just one more note, this blade does not have a brand on it. It doesn't say anything on it actually. Let's see, get into this Olfa pack of blades. These blades do have a light coating of oil on them to prevent rusting. So let's take a look at this Olfa blade real quick. Branded Olfa 25 Japan. And then let's see if I can swap it out for this one. Oh, actually, these are different sizes. Yep, so that's a goof on my part. I ordered the wrong size blades. So now I have a set of a pack of 20 blades that are not going to work in my new knife. So these are the Tone slip joint pliers. Combination slim plier with master grip. The mouth opening can be adjusted into stages. The length is slim and fits comfortably in your hand. And let's see, are these made in Japan? Made in Japan. Yes, they are. Let's see, moving on to the last two. Got the nippers and the master grip needle nose pliers. Diagonal nippers. Special tool for cutting electrical cords, soft wires. In addition, there's a small hole at the back of the blade, so it can also be used to strip cords. Oh, okay. So this little hole here, it's a wire stripper. That's cool. Plastic pattern, quality. Well, some of this is just like 107 grams. It's the weight. Plastic handle is not an insulator. Do not use it on anything that is electrically conductive. Okay, so these are not insulated. Don't use them on live wires. They are made in Japan. Yeah, okay, so strong and easy to grip. Assist opening and closing. Maybe that's what this little, you see the little angle on the tail? Maybe that's what that's supposed to mean. Assist opening and closing. Prevention of falling off. I guess they're just calling out this rubber in mold here on the inside of the handle. All right, and the last one, the master grip pliers. Okay, radio pliers. Unique grip with functionality in mind. Non-slip, easy to grip. Yeah, so they're just calling out those exact same features. I guess those are just the features of the rubber handle. It does look pretty ergonomic though. And it does say pro spec for professionals, in case you were worried. If you can use these as a professional, they are professional approved. Take a picture of the back. Radio pliers, master grip type, can be used for gripping and bending thin wires and small parts, and for cutting soft wires such as electrical cords. Plastic handle is not an insulator. Interesting. Okay. So these are the Tone tools. So these are the needle nose pliers. These are definitely a little bit heavier duty than the engineer ones. You can see side by side, the tips are not the same size. These are more of probably an all-around size. And the grips, so the red is a plastic material and the black is a rubberized, so they're not rubber all around. Let's see, they say that this little hook here is the opening assist. Yeah, I guess I could see that. If you need like really fine control. Not sure how you would, yeah, maybe a little bit. And they do have a cutting end. Cut some thin wire here. They work. So looking at the diagonal cutting pliers, these nippers, these are really interesting. Now these do not have a spring like the engineer, neither of these do. But the cutting tip on these is really cool. And if you look, it looks like, oh, it's so hard to see. So the end below the wire stripper that circular cutout. It looks like, okay, so I thought maybe that was like made for pulling zip ties closed, but it looks like it's actually cut just like the rest of it. So I guess it's not. That is just more cutting area. So let's see if you tried to pull that section here. Yeah, I mean, if you squeeze it, it's gonna cut it. Ooh. Those do leave a nice flush cut though. And these feel relatively heavy duty. I don't know if I would really want to cut wire with these. All right, we'll take another look at these slip joint pliers. Cut them out of here with the Tone nippers. These feel very nice. You can actually see the machining marks. And these feel relatively heavy in the hand. They feel solid. I don't think that these would break unless you were really wrenching on them. The action is super smooth too. Let's see, you can't slip it in unless they're open. Like, I mean, if that's 90, they gotta be, you know, 80 degrees open to slip. So you're not gonna accidentally slip these. And they have the same grip style as the other two. So I'm really interested in trying these out. Like I mentioned before, I think that slip joint pliers are really like the OG of pliers. You know, I know that like Knipex wrench pliers and Cobra pliers and, you know, parrot nose pliers, all these fancy pliers that everybody loves nowadays. But I think that if you're in a pinch and you got to do something with pliers, chances are if you're going to pick one plier to do it, I think it's going to be these. I mean, they have a section that you could grab a bolt. And they do have teeth going all the way down, and they have some pretty serious teeth. And those are angled kind of like this. So if you were going to be tightening something or loosening something, you'd want to pull this way. But yeah, I mean, you can grab a bolt with these and they get pretty big. I mean, you could grab a decent sized bolt. Really, really cool. All right, moving on to some of the Engineer branded pliers and nippers. I'm going to review the Engineer scissors with the other pair of scissors that I got. So we'll look at these nippers first. And real quick, we'll look at the translated. So it looks like cutting capacity, 2 millimeters of wire, copper wire. And for stranded wire, it could cut 3.5 millimeter diameter, or maybe that's 3.5 millimeter area, and 1.6 millimeter diameter brass. Apparently that means twisted. So yeah, the middle one is like standard wires. Blade opening stopper. That's what this little nib is. Excellent sharpness, a premium professional nipper. Perfect for hobbies. And look at the back of it. Small head makes it ideal for precision work, anti-static grip, hardened cutting edge, blade opening stopper. Grip material is made of environmentally friendly elastomer. Has a strap hole, ideal for PCB work. Page stopper, I don't know what that is. Has the hardness on there. I really do love that they have that on there. Tool is not insulated. Yep. Don't use it on live wires. Seems pretty cool. Take a look at these small needle nose. It has some similar cutting capacity information. Looks like it's similar, but this one, the needle nose does say that it can cut steel wire. And it can cut slightly thicker brass, 2 millimeter diameter brass as opposed to 1.6. It has apex shape, has serrations, ideal for precision work around circuit boards. Radio pliers. Take a look at the back of these. Serrated tip, surface resistance. Interesting. Do not use on anything that is electrically conductive. Very cool. Okay, so taking a closer look at the actual tools. This is a rubberized texture on here. And I really do like this engineer style. It's not normally something that I would go for, this kind of, I don't know, Transformers-esque grid lines and stuff, but it has a very unique aesthetic, and they seem to stick to it with a lot of their tools, so I do appreciate that. These are spring assist opening. And so yeah, the way this stopper works is it makes contact when it opens. You can see that. There's a little channel. As it opens, it makes contact. Cut some softer stuff here. I've got just like a wire or a cable tie. Very clean cut. I'll have to do a further comparison of these against some of the other ones I have. But initial impressions, they seem nice. They seem well made. Take a look at these miniature needle nose or radio pliers. So, okay, so yeah, ESD safe. So basically they're saying that they're safe from electrostatic discharge, but they're not insulated, so you can't use them on like a live wire. But using them shouldn't damage a circuit board. So that's kind of what these are aimed for. And these also say EST safe grip. So these are really aimed towards that small, working with Arduinos or circuit boards, that kind of crowd. And I have no doubt that these would be great for that. And this is a nice size, but I appreciate that they have a more heavy-duty nose, because I find that a lot of times the really small needle nose pliers end up having a really weak, thin gripping head, and so they get bent out at the tip. But I feel like these would probably stand up pretty well. And they do have a cutting edge. I've got some wire here I can cut. This is just some really thin, like gardening wire. Yep, it's able to cut that. Don't see any visible damage on the cutters. Okay, moving on to these scissors. So we'll start with these Canary scissors. Now I did actually do a little bit of reading, and it seems like the brand is Hasegawa, but Hasegawa makes a variety of cutting tools, knives and razors and all kinds of things, including scissors. And it seems like Canary is their scissors subline. So Hasegawa brand, Canary is the line, which is scissors, and they have a variety of scissors. These in particular are some of their bond-free, which I also had to look up what that was. So bond-free means that there is essentially there's a Teflon coating, and you can see, wow, it looks really cool. There's a Teflon coating on the back side of the blade, which is intended to prevent glue sticking to it. So if you're like cutting tape, this should prevent the tape from getting stuck to the blade, like that sometimes happens. So very interesting. And we'll look at the translation of the package here. So yeah, high quality fluororesin. The use of fluororesin prevents stickiness from adhesive tape and glue. What is bond-free? A special process has been used to enhance the durability of fluorine. So that is interesting. Okay, so it even says right here, Canary is an original brand of Hasegawa cutlery. Okay, well, that clears that up. Bond-free fluorine coating on the underside of the blade prevents stickiness from adhesive tape. Sharp and durable two-stage blade, that's called out here, has two different angle chamfers on the blade. Single-stage blade minimizes cutting resistance and provides a more comfortable cutting experience. The double-stage blade maintains the sharpness of a single-stage blade while providing a sharper cutting edge. Interesting. Rust-resistant Japanese stainless steel blade. Craftsman finish. These scissors are carefully crafted by artisans who have inherited the techniques of scissor making that has been cultivated since the company was founded in 1933. All Canary brand scissors are subject to rigorous sharpness testing. Enjoy the sharpness. How to care for it. Moisture causes rust. If moisture gets on the metal parts, remove and apply oil to the crimped parts before storing. Do not wipe with thinner, as this will dilute the adhesive. If you cut adhesive tape continuously and there is any residue left on the blade, remove the adhesive tape. It can be easily removed by pressing it against the blade. Be careful of the blade in cleaning. We accept resharpening. In order to ensure that you can use Canary brand products for a long time, we are accepting requests to have this product sharpened. In that case, we ask that you pay the resharpening fee of 500 yen, excluding tax. and the round-trip shipping fee. Well, I doubt they have anywhere to resharpen it in the US, so I will probably not be taking them up on that, but that is really interesting. And just out of curiosity, I'm curious what is 500 yen in USD? That's about $3, so that is quite a deal. Very cool. Made in Seki, Japan. It says stainless, Japan. Let's see if we can see that. Double-edged. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. And these have a very smooth action. It's not going to be easy to see on camera, but man, these are very smooth. Very interesting. Just a good household scissor, I think. Okay, and moving on to these engineer scissors. These are a completely different kind of scissor. These are designed for like an electrician application, but yeah, I was drawn to these by the name. I think these are called like the Astro Boy scissors. This is the back. Cut even special materials, 4-in-1, multi-purpose blade combination. You have a flat blade straight edge, moderate thickness and sharp blade edge, support comfortable cutting, allows smooth sliding cutting of paper and cloth. So that's just this standard cutting edge. Micro serrations. Can cut a variety of materials easily. Also supports special ultra fine fibers with high hardness. Maybe they are talking about like Kevlar or like Dyneema. Maybe they're saying that you can cut that with these. That's cool. There's the serrated edge. Number 3, wire cutter. Cuts wires and tough cords with minimal force. The blade and main body is not used, preventing deterioration to the blade. Yep, so that's this section on the back here. And then safety box opener, convenient for opening cardboard boxes. And that is, are they calling out? I think they're calling out this, the back side here. So they're saying that this, when it's closed, can be used to open boxes. Now, I think this is funny because, you know, I don't know how many other people do this, but I have been definitely known to just grab a pair of scissors and use them, you know, in the open position to open a box. That's probably not the best way to use your scissors, but they took it one step further and they said, hey, we know you're going to open boxes with these. Here's a box opener. Just use this. Don't even worry about dulling your cutting blade, because we put one on the back for you. So that is really cool. And let's see. It doesn't call out what this is on the back, so maybe we'll see. Maybe that's another wire cutter, or it doesn't actually close all the way though. There's a gap, so maybe we'll see what that is about. Various hold handles. Front cut. Back cut. You can put your finger on the back here. Gives you a little bit more motor control. Hand cut with garnish. Apparently this is called hand cut with garnish. And then cutting with both hands. And here's just some stuff that you can cut with it. saying you can cut rope, cord, cotton-aided cord. You can cut 5mm branches? Is that really what that is? Yeah, branch. Okay, well, I guess you could use these as gardening scissors. You could cut CDs. Wow, okay. Leather. And then maximum cutting capacity. Okay. Maximum cutting capacity is 1.6mm copper wire or 1.2mm just regular wire. And then there is an entire like inside flip book section here with a ton of stuff. So we'll go through that. They really are proud of these scissors. They want to make sure that you know all the specs. Strong and gentle hyper grip with tough functionality and a small body. Engineer's iron arm scissors are used in a variety of situations, from professional use in workshops and on-site to outdoor activities, DIY kitchen work. Secret to their high functionality and safety lies in their sharp blades that are suitable for multiple purposes, ergonomic design of the handle. The design reduces the risk of finger injuries, even when cutting hard materials with great force. The combination of strength and gentleness not found in conventional scissors marks the birth of a new tool that can be used both on and off the job. Finger pinch guard. Oh, okay. So that is this. That is cool. So this little raised section here, when you have these in your hand, your fingers kind of rest on this. And that's to prevent your fingers from going into the clamping area. And it has it on both sides, so no matter which way you're using it. That's really cool. A guard is provided to prevent your fingers from becoming pinched when the grip is closed. There are slits in the grip so that you can grip it. S-shaped design. So yeah, these are slightly offset from each other. That's the S-shaped design. Apparently that transmits grip force to the blade tip. Interesting. This unique form transmits gripping force efficiently to the shears. Strap hole. It's just these triangular cutouts in the back. Vent and drain holes. Okay, so now they're talking about the sheath. So these have vent and drain holes. Has a hole down at the bottom and also on the sides here. So if you get water in this, it can drain out. It's not going to rust. You can rest assured that the lock is securely locked with a clicking sound. Cap the blades to click the lock. Let's see. Yep. Does a lock. Just talking more about the sheath. When storing for a long time, be sure to wipe off any dirt or moisture with a cloth. Here's some material information. Special stainless steel for knives. Grip and cap is PBT. Not sure what PBT is, some type of plastic. Some dimensions. And then here's a little history snippet. Until the birth of Tetsuwan Hasami, GT. So this gentleman is the representative director and president of Engineer, Mitsuhiro Takasaki. How can you concentrate your grip strength at the cutting point where the upper and lower blades meet? What should the blade and handle be like to cut through materials that are hundreds, even thousands of times harder than paper? The Tetsuwan Hasagami GT was born from our commitment to making scissors into true tools. The sharpness of the blade has earned the reputation of being one of the best in Japan. The traditional techniques of Seki City, also known as Solingen, are utilized. And there's a link to the president's blog. And this is not an insulated tool. Do not use on live wires. Not sure I have anything here that's too intense to cut. Here's some light gauge wire. Yeah, cuts it. Cut a cable tie. Oh, yeah, the serrated edge makes super easy work of that. So I don't know what this little cutout is on the blade here. I mean, it doesn't go all the way through, so you can't really cut anything with it. Maybe just gripping? It doesn't really grip either. I mean, if you put it like that, it does kind of grip, but I don't know. Man, that serrated section is butter smooth cutting through this. And these are definitely a green, kind of an army green, dark green. These are very nice. Okay, I got some medium weight paper. This is a little bit heavier duty than standard printer paper, kind of a light craft paper. Very smooth action. Really enjoyable to use. Let's see, can these engineer scissors cut paper? Yep. They cut paper. Very nice. Okay, so here are all the screw driving implements that I got. All of them are vessel branded except for this one, which is an Anex. This is the ratcheting handle. So we'll look at all these. I'll take them out of the package and then we'll kind of read what's on the packaging. Okay, so starting out with these hex bits. They both have the same sizes, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and they're just different lengths, 100 millimeters on the left, 150 on the right. And I'll pull up the information about them. So let's see, strongest bit ever, strongest bit in history. Wow, that is a tall claim. Die-hard steel. And then 6.35 millimeter. Yep, that is exactly a 1/4 inch. So these are the exact same size as standard US 1/4 inch hex bits. Take a look at the back of these. I'm kind of curious. Oh, doesn't like that. Anti-rust coating, new material, die-hard steel, different strength and roughness, toughness. Special alloy tool steel is used for sides 8 and 10. Well, maybe that's a typo. They do sell a 10 millimeter, but it didn't come in this pack and I didn't buy it separately. Okay, so this graph is showing the difference between their steel and conventional steel. That's really cool. And then just some specs. And it has a ball point. Yep, ball end. Very cool. We'll move on to the Torx and these standard bits. Gosai, the strongest bit in history. Yep, same thing as the other ones. I think that's what these series are called, the Gosai bits. Not sure what Gosai translates to. The Gosai bit belt. Yep, that's what this is, the bits belt. And just a quick note on this belt. These are in here tight, man. You got to pull on them to get them out. I mean, they're not going to go anywhere. But if you're using this all the time, yeah, you're going to have a tough time getting these in and out of there all the time. You got to really pull on them. Let's take a look at the information on the backs. High precision, fully hardened, anti-rust coating. A little disclaimer that Torx are registered trademarks. And looking at the bit belt one, strength and tenacity are different. Another one show of that graph. So this would be strength under torsion. And they're giving you the delta. Doesn't have any actual like numbers on here, but it's just the delta showing you that theirs is in fact stronger. Bit belt holds 10 bits. Oh, yep. And then it has a belt loop. So you could put this through your belt and have them ready to go at a moment's notice. Got a picture there. 10 bits stored in a work belt can be hung from a wall or object. Boxes take up little space. Ideal for working in narrow spaces. The single-headed bit is ideal for working in tight spaces and corners. Can be attached to most electric, rechargeable, and air impact drivers sold in Japan. And then we'll take a quick look at these handles, and then I'll show the handles in use. So this one here is the Vessel 220W, made in Japan. Ball grip, bit replacement grip, made in Japan. Can be used with electric screwdriver. Not sure what that means. I don't think you'd be using this with an electric screwdriver. And then the apex, this is the ratcheting one. 72 tooth, professional ratchet mechanism. Reduces the rattling of the bit. Interesting, okay. Some information on the back of these. This is the information on the back of the vessel. Bits with a 40 millimeter or less length cannot be used. Yeah, they won't go all the way in. The screw may result in industry. Ball grip replacement grip. Not a lot of information, and it's just a screwdriver handle. We'll take a look at the Anex. Please use bits. If you have any problems with the product, please contact us. Maximum torque, 25 Newton meters. Do not use it in an area where there is a risk of injury. And then some dimensions. High quality, made in Japan. So we'll do a quick demonstration of these. So let's see, I'll grab the 5 mil. Oh wow, those are magnetic. Grab the 5 mil of each size. And these are magnetic. Wow, that's really cool. Anyway, so using these in the standard bit holder, they do lock in pretty firmly. There's a little bit of play. I mean, It's not bad. You can barely even see it. But it does play a little bit. But it feels solid in there. I mean this feels like a solid connection. And you have to give it a decent amount of force to pull it out. It's not going to come out accidentally. And these double-sided bits, I mean, the bits themselves look nice. But yeah, that bits belt isn't hard. I mean, you wouldn't want these coming out while they're just like in your tool belt. I can understand that. Now let's see, this is a really short one. God, if I can even get this out of here. I'd have to grab my pliers to pull this out. Goodness. Okay, yeah, wow, I literally had to use a pair of pliers to get this bit out of that. This thing is gripping on so tight, and it probably would loosen up over time, but wow. Okay, so can this be used? Yeah, it doesn't go all the way in. You're not working with much. You got a real stubby one here. And like, good luck pulling that out. No, you can, okay. I mean, it's not easy, but. There is a ball detent in there. Now, I'm not sure. It does kind of click in, but the ball detent spring is not super strong, so. Anyway, let's take a look at this Anex. Now, this thing is really cool. So when you start to push the bit in, it has a lot of resistance, and then it kind of grabs it here. But you can push it further in, and then it really locks in place. And so just a quick note, the direction changing switch is counter acting. So if you push it up to the right, it's going to be loosening. Push it to the left, it's tightening. But in the middle, I just want to show this. Oh my gosh. When it's locked out in the middle section, it is locked. There is like almost no play. It feels so solid. I mean, if I take this bit out, like, there, I mean, barely any play. That's incredible. I don't know how they did this. And this ratchet mechanism is like, I'm not going to take this apart to look at it, but you know what it kind of sounds like is, it almost sounds like, you know, Snap-on has those, the pawl mechanisms in their ratchets that are kind of like offset, or maybe that's gear edge, I can't remember, but basically you have two sets of pawls, and so it kind of doubles the contact points. Anyway, that is like, I mean, your effective, like, usable, it's like so tiny. And so obviously if you have a bit that has an end that will prevent it from going all the way in, it locks in. Like, it still locks in. It still doesn't go as far. But there, like, it's locked in. It's engaged. I am very impressed by this. And let's see these really short ones. So yeah, these short ones lock in at a slightly more desirable position. I probably wouldn't recommend using these with these really short bits unless you had like no other option. This one grips a lot better than the other one, so I'm gonna have to use a pair of pliers to get this out. But this really works well with these long ones. I mean, man. wanted to do a comparison of this ratcheting Anex bit holder with the Wera bit holder that is similar. Let's see if I can grab the same. Here's a 5 mil. Let's see, maybe if I grab this longer one, it'll be about the same length. Yeah, so that's about the same length. Let's see here. You know, the ratchet sounds better on the Wera. That's undeniable. The ratchet on the Anex sounds like kind of crunchy, and I think it's because they have some funky dual thing going on in there. It's like, it's got to be clicking every other. It's like a 72 tooth, but I swear they have 2 pawls, so that might be that quick ball. I don't know. It almost seems like it's ratcheting, you know, 144 times because it's basically clicking twice for every ratchet. I don't know. And then this one, of course, you push the direction you want to tighten. So push forward, tighten, push it back to loosen. But the locked position on these is so different. Like, so on the Anex, locked has like almost no play. That's incredible. And then locked on the Wera, I mean, look at that. You have, I mean, that's got to be like 5 degrees plus or minus. That's a significant amount of movement, right? So like, not the end of the world, but it's just like, I mean, just for comparison, this handle by itself, if you buy it, is like 25, 30 bucks. Compared to this handle, I mean, even with shipping, I think this was like $15. This is like half the cost of this, and in my opinion, they've produced a much more finished product. And you could say, oh, well, you know, this is made in Germany, but I don't think this Wera stuff is even made in Germany. I'm pretty sure it's made in the Czech Republic. And this is made in Japan. And maybe you don't like the ball end. I mean, just initial impressions on the ball end. I like the ball end. I think it makes a lot more sense, actually. It fits into your hand really well. I guess one downside of the ball end is like if you have these slotted in a toolbox, you know, if you have a bunch of ball end screwdrivers, they're going to take up more room, right? You can't fit as many of these ball ends next to each other, right? Because they stick out. But I mean, the ball end feels nice. I feel like with this ball end, you get more torque, right? Because you have more of a mechanical advantage sticking out, right? So you have more, the ability to apply more torque, especially with this nice rubber grip that these have. Yeah, that is so impressive. Now, just another quick thing. Let's showcase the different anvil length. So, wow, that works. How does that work? I didn't think that that would work. Because these have completely different anvils. I mean, this is the Western standard and this is the Japanese standard. And how is it doing that? Don't have my flashlight in here to look at it. Anyway. Okay, so if you were curious, the Japanese anvils will fit in the wrap adapter. That's very surprising. Okay, these double end ones will not work. That's not really that surprising. And I think earlier I said that these vessel metric bits didn't have the size written on them, and I was wrong. They do. It is stamped into the anvil. I mean, initial impressions of this vessel, well, I mean, this is an Anex, not a vessel. This Anex ratcheting handle is extremely positive. Very impressed. I'm also really surprised that this Wera wrap adapter works with the Japanese bits. Take a quick look at these vessel bit holders. Now even these are made in Japan. Wow, okay. I did take a picture of these. Holds 10 bits easily. A carabiner can be attached to the hanging hole. Sharp tools attached to the holding of the blade. Insert the bit and make sure it does not easily come out. Interesting, okay. I mean, there's not a lot to them. They have a little, they have like a little plastic, like finger inside there that kind of holds them. Oh, and they kind of lock in, actually. That's nice. They're not going to fall out. They do seem really nice. And there's not much else to say about this one. I mean, it doesn't ratchet. It's just a bit holder. It works. It seems high quality. It's rubberized all around. I mean, this is, well, actually not all around, excuse me. So this is black plastic. These textured sections are rubber. So it has good grip, and that's the same with this. These are rubber. This is just plastic. Pretty impressed with these.